Good morning, everybody. And today I'm continuing my series on what you can do and what you should be focusing on in real time with your teams. And what I'm hearing from a lot of my clients is that we've sort of forgotten what it means to be focused on our businesses, not just in our businesses. And so, one of the biggest pain points I'm hearing from leaders right now in an uncertain world is actually around developing a staff who can support organizational growth. In the work that I do, I support leaders in building their competence and their confidence. As a matter of fact, I believe that one without the other sets leaders up for failure. So again, I completely believe that leaders need to be developing staff around building confidence and around building competence. We can't afford to leave either piece of this puzzle to chance. So I'm going to make a little bit of an assumption here um, that not only is this larger picture of staff development and training not happening, but onboarding of new staff and setting them up for success is definitely not in the cards. So I've decided, to focus on this topic in today's conversation because what happens is that many leaders and many HR people are spending a lot of time on hiring people, right? We're just still dealing with the impact of the great resignation. Many people have jobs open. Still, many people are trying to be flexible in thought of who they're hiring. And so we're sort of in this scramble of hiring. And when we're in this scramble of hiring and we're focused simply on hiring, we're not doing much service or justice to the people that we've hired. So the 5 tips that I'm going to give you today are really based on looking at, right? On looking at how we successfully bring new people into our organizations. How do we successfully bring people into our organizations? So the first tip that I want to share with you is around one-on-one meetings. Oftentimes I hear leaders say, it would be great if I could keep my one-on-one meetings with my employees on a schedule, but other things come up, and an outside sponsor or another business opportunity comes into my worldview, and I just can't. I have to, this is much more important than my keeping my commitment to my one-on-one staff meetings. I'm going to say that this is a fatal error that many leaders make. Your staff meetings need to be your number one priority, as do the second tip, your one on one meetings. Both of these pieces are critical to onboarding new hires and retaining the staff that you have. And what I've seen is that both of these things have fallen off the radar screen. Remember March 2020 when you moved to Zoom and you were doing tons of checking in with your clients, and it was incredibly important for you to do that? Well, I'm going to just say that that continues to be critical, right? The one-on-one check-ins are an imperative. And really what we need to do when we start those meetings is simply ask, how are you doing? As a leader, you need to be aware of the mental health crisis that's going on within our companies. And if we're not scheduling these weekly one-on-one meetings with people, we're definitely losing out on an opportunity to develop the best team that we can have. What I see is that these meetings should be non-negotiable for new employees in their first 90 days of being hired. One-on-one staff meetings with a new hire and their one-up manager are critical to retaining your greatest asset, your people. The second tip I want to give you, and I mentioned it earlier, is continuing to commit to monthly staff meetings. I get it. It feels like everybody's whining and complaining. Like, why do we have to have a staff meeting? I could be doing something else. I have so much work, all the excuses that come up. But I know that a monthly staff meeting is critical for our team to be successful and for onboarding new people. We want them to feel welcome and a part of our culture. And so when we give up our monthly staff meetings, we give up an intentional opportunity to integrate new people into the work of our organization. We also are not doing much for the people that are already working for us. And so many people, and this is what I hear in my coaching all the time, are feeling isolated and alone. And when we feel isolated and alone, we disengage. We disengage from the work that we're doing. So we know that both these one-on-one staff meetings and these monthly staff meetings are absolutely critical for onboarding our new staff members and to creating a real esprit de corps for our team. Okay, so the third important point to consider as a leader is conducting a needs assessment of training gaps for your employees. Again, in the last 2.5 years, we've really gotten away from team trainings, professional staff development, both around competence and confidence. Confidence is around the mindset work, the competence is around specific skill sets. And overall, what we want to be doing is growing our employees' connection to our organizations and helping them to grow to become the best leaders that they can be. So I highly recommend thinking about what skills in your organization are critical. Is it around how to run effective meetings? Is it around communication 101? Is it around delegating? Is it around time management? What are critical skills that every single person that works for your organization must have to be successful in their role? And by conducting a needs assessment of the training gaps for your employees, you're going to figure out exactly what they need. And then as a leader, you can go ahead and plan meaningful and highly impactful trainings and use your resources in the most powerful ways. The fourth piece of this puzzle is creating intentional mentoring programs. Oh my gosh, one of the biggest things that I hear from my coaching clients is that there are just not enough people in mentoring roles for new employees and emerging leaders. So if you're a small organization, figure out a structure that works for you. And if you need help with that, or if you feel like you need some external mentorship programs, that's what I'm here to help you with. I found that particularly in the nonprofit world, I have seen an increase in people turning to me as a mentor coach versus simply a coach. They can't find the mentorship within their own workplaces. So if you can provide that, props to you. If you can't, I'm here to help. But these intentional mentoring programs where people develop a one-on-one relationship with somebody who is not their boss, but that helps improve their familiarity, comfort, and trust, or that respects building that relationship, are again incredibly important for onboarding your new team members and supporting the members of your team that have been there for you and through COVID. The last piece I want to talk about is around something that I used to love to do with my team, and it was so important to all the teams that I've been on. And that particular area, right, is around a staff retreat, a full staff retreat. Oh my gosh, how much did I love leading staff retreats with my teams? I absolutely loved being part of showing up as a leader and facilitating these staff retreats. And so I'm going to suggest to you that you get a staff retreat on your calendar. If you haven't done it, which many organizations have not done staff retreats, this is something you need to get back to, whether it's virtual or live. And that means having a day, not just for the skill part of professional development, but for the beautiful magic that happens when you bring your team together to build relationships. So I really recommend a hybrid retreat where you're doing both team development and skill building. And again, this is something that the Think Good company specializes in. We can help you create an highly impactful session for your employees. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful to you, and we'll be sharing the information about this video in all of our social networks, and obviously a way for you to connect with me. You can connect with me at Deb at the Think Good Company, or actually Deb at thinkgoodcompany.com. I don't email myself much, and I'd love to talk to you more about this. Again, thanks for tuning in, and remember, it's our responsibility to think good and to create a compassionate and courageous workplace.